Alrighty, so with these new melee weapons that came out with the update, they're kind of hard to get, not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a grind. It's easier than, I guess, getting a lich or something, because, you could just get the one straight away. But to get these, you just gotta go to the pairing sequence guy. I'm not sure what his name is, but you just go to him. And you're gonna need hollow keys for this, which the only way to get those is to do void storms. I would say just do the highest level void storm, that is Axie void storms, and just try to get your hands on a bunch of these hollow keys. But there are 4 new weapons, and the one I got this time was the Grigori, because I did not really see it through. But these weapons, I think all of them, pretty sure, have a projectile thing in there where all of these weapons have something where it throws out a projectile on like a heavy attack or some form of attack or something, which is interesting because I did see I think the shield weapon also has a projectile, and I'm pretty sure the exec will have one too, or the other weapon that I'm forgetting, the Nikana. Is it the Nikana? Right. But the weapon that I got today, though, we're talking about the Tenet Grigori. I gotta say, it's a decent weapon. It's definitely a weapon that if you want to get your hands on a scythe, I guess you can, but it's definitely not a weapon that I would be using a lot, just because of the fact that, I don't know, just using it, it just kind of feels a little clunky. That's all it is. But we'll get into that later. Let's actually check out what's the build really quickly. So I actually have 2 builds for this. The one I have is a viral slash setup, which I think most people probably know by now. A lot of people run that on anything that has a lot of slash, and this thing has a pretty decent amount of slash. So if you want to run a viral slash type setup, you can. This is my version of it. I'm not saying that this is the best version that you can run on a viral slash setup. I know other people are going to be like, what about the Prime Corrupted mod? Not the Corrupted mod, what are they called? Prime Bane of Corrupted and shit like that. You could definitely run those. Or you can definitely get Buzzkill out of it too if you just want to, or maybe remove one of the Vicious Frost one depending on what element you get. But I got an electricity one, so I have to go for, viral. I have to make viral rather than just having electricity or like having toxin on there. But that's what you could do. You could try to get a cold one or electricity one. And then I have a normal type setup, which I think I kinda will use a little bit more. I'm not sure. Where just normal type setup where you just have crit and condition overload, weeping wounds, kind of normal type damage type setups. So yeah, these are basically the 2 setups that I have. Now the difference between these 2 setups is the fact that a lot of people are gonna argue that the viral setup is gonna give you like just more damage overall, and that is true because if you have a viral and a slash build on a weapon, and if you also have that crit damage on there, with blood rush and shit, it does tend to be a little bit better. But if you just want to run like a normal damage type setup, that could work too. Now again, I'm testing it out against 145s, level 145s. That's a little high level, and maybe you want to use it in steel path. I guess you can. I guess if you want to use it on steel path, you can. And I would probably go for a viral setup if I'm gonna take it in like an endurance type mission. But in a normal mission, even in a sortie mission or anything lower than that, this thing is gonna be doing pretty good. It's gonna be killing enemies pretty quickly, and as you can see, it like does decent damage, right? And even it has that slash proc, so you can kind of rely on that slash proc also if you want to just kill, like take the last little bit of health off of enemies. But yeah, the normal setup, the damage setup works pretty well if you want it to work. And then if you go for, let's say, something like a viral slash setup, that's just going to be a little bit better because it's just going to give you, that, condition overload type setups, with viral and slash, they usually just end up giving you that extra bit of damage, like in kind of, insane. Now, the only thing that's hard about this is the fact that, first off, you got to wind this setup up with this viral and slash one. which, might be a little hard, but it isn't that hard. But, you just gotta wind it up. You're gonna get total combo multiplier. But if you can get that going, you could definitely just murder enemies quicker than the damage setup that I have. The damage setup I just have for, like, I think just fucking around, to be honest, because I feel like, just having damage is just better if you're just not doing like anything like endurance runs and shit. But if you just want to go for like an endurance run or really take it in steel path maybe or something like that, and you just want to kind of just have it for, just an endurance run type deal, as I said, a viral setup will work better. It just, the damage is just that much better. But, it just depends on what you want to use. But yeah, that's pretty much the setup right there. I did test out both of them in steel path, and the damage setup does fine. It does what it's supposed to do. It just does the damage. You can get crits. You can even get red crits with it if you're kind of lucky, I guess. If you run a Kavad, you're definitely gonna get a red crit, or you're just gonna be critting pretty well. But the thing about the weapon is, for me, I don't know, like, I like the viral slash setup. It's pretty bonkers. Like, it can kill pretty decently, but I don't know. I don't know what it is with this weapon. It's kind of clunky to me. Like, honestly, I would wanna the build that I'm gonna run around with it, like the damage build. I'll probably run the damage build with it, but I'll probably end up putting a little bit more like attack speed on this thing, because like the standing I think the standing combo that this thing does is just a little bit too slow for me. So I'm probably just gonna end up putting a little bit more attack speed on this thing, to be honest, because that just feels right to me. Like, it's a little, the weapon is a little slower, fucking DE, nerf the whole Berserker Prime Fury thing, so you gotta find another way to do it, which, by the way, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try Berserker and Quickening if that combo works, because I'll probably end up putting that on the damage build, just to kind of fuck around, just for, like, lower level missions and shit, just to kind of, mess about with it, because I just hate that attack speed. That's definitely one of the things I hate about this weapon. But yeah, the viral, the viral build works well too. It does well, as you would expect, but yeah, that's pretty much the Tenet Grigori. I don't think I missed anything. The projectile thing, I guess you can build like a heavy setup for it too, if you just want to use the projectile. I'm not sure. I'm not really like that big of a fan of it. Like, the projectile is decent. It's kind of like the Arca Plasma type ish. But from what I'm hearing, I think all of these melee weapons have that projectile like thing on it. I'm pretty sure the shield weapon definitely has one, which I'll probably get that later. I definitely want to get the exec first, because it has a lot of crit chance and it's a heavy weapon. So that'll be interesting to see how would I mod that. But yeah, that's the Tenet Grigori. It's a little underwhelming for me, I gotta say. Like, it's not a bad weapon, but it's definitely not a weapon that I would say people to get straight away. Like, if you don't want to get it, that's okay. What the fuck is messaging me right now? But if you don't want to get it, and if you're gonna want to go for the exec or even the shield weapon that has like that, pretty decent plasma thingy, because it, like, I think it like drops the shield down and fires a projectile that way. If you want to go for that, you could go for that too. But Grigori, I gotta say, it's a little bit underwhelming, a little bit. But hey, at least I'm able to use, my sight skin that I've had for, god damn, I can't imagine how long. Probably a long time. I've had this skin for so long, and I've never used sights a lot. So hey, at least I could use this fucking skin and just, try to kill enemies with a candy cane. But yeah, that's pretty much the Tenet Grigori. It's a decent weapon. It's a good weapon for a viral slash type setup, which, I'm okay with. I don't really personally like those types of setup, but, it could do damage. But that's not just something that is, I guess, that fun for me right now. We'll see. I gotta test out with other weapons to see what I'm gonna use, like which melee weapon I'm gonna be just using for now. But yeah, that's the Tenet Grigori. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.